I wanted to talk a little bit about interest levels, okay? So, I really do think that you should be factoring in a girl's interest pretty much at every step of the way and take less of the responsibility on yourself. Now, hear me out here. So, if a girl accepts you picking her up for the date, that's a win, or shit like that. If she responds fairly quickly, that's a win. If she responds with some basic enthusiasm or basic politeness in her text, that's a plus. If she is down to meet for drinks at the location that you kind of suggest, if you are leading the sales process in a very normal way, you pick a decent spot, you know what you're doing, it's not too crazy, it's not too last minute, you're not being weird over text, you'll be good. Now, that being said, so say a girl is compliant, say a girl is down, say a girl is responding with enthusiasm, with some interest, with some good interest indicators, great. She might be down, and that's a solid lead, and you'll probably get a good result, right? You can probably predict your success just based off of her feedback, shit that you're getting from her. Now, what do we do for the girls that, she trails off in the conversation, doesn't respond with much enthusiasm, isn't down to be picked up for whatever reason, bullshit like that, and you feel like now you're having to start to freaking nail this girl down and put in some game, put in some extra riz. What I think it comes down to is just building yourself up in her head as far as your perceived value. So shit like being cool over text, shit like when you're doing your approach, you guys actually have a good conversation, you're demonstrating you're a cool dude and you guys are having a good conversation, and you're a Chad, your looks match, whatever, you look good, you're attractive. Maybe it comes out that your occupation is pretty cool or interesting. Now your value points go up a little bit more. You make some funny joke and she actually laughs, she thinks it's funny, your value points go up a little more. Maybe you're patient, you get that she just can't hang out that night, so you're cool, no big deal. You circle back when it's right. A little bit of patience, not neediness, your value points might go up a little bit, the curiosity might go up a little bit. So essentially, I don't know exactly the answer for these mid-interest girls, because I feel like that's 90% of the leads that we deal with. You could just say, yeah, I only go after high-interest women. And honestly, you'd have a good close rate. You'd have a good success rate because you're focusing on high-intent leads, right? In sales, leads that come to you, they fill out your forms, they're interested, they want your service. Those are easier to close than leads where you're going out and pounding down their door and they're like, dude, maybe could use this sometime, but I'm not 100% sure. It's going to be harder. So, going after high interest leads, but also reading the signals. And, I get it. We want to close as many freaking leads as we can. So, for those mid interest girls where a lot of leads fall off, it's going to be an uphill battle, but it can be done. My thought is that it has to do with maybe a longer term game where you have to freaking incrementally win all these little value points, and then for it to stick for a long term, you're gonna have to really continually win these little value points. So as far as what to do when she stopped responding, or what to do when she's giving you a little flack on the date, you gotta just somehow display high value, display non-neediness, display that you know what you're doing in the sales process, display competence, display some charisma, display that you got shit going on. Some other thoughts would be get her on Snapchat, have some stories go up, she's watching your stories, maybe engage in some long-term nurture, maybe get her on Instagram, she watches your stories, she sees you have a really freaking banging Instagram, you got a good looking Instagram, social proof, shit like that. So you might have to entertain some of these roundabout tactics, nurturing her further on these other platforms, maybe some patience game, some persistence game, and generally just incrementally winning all of those little battles. And a little bit of persistence, a little bit of whatever. So that's what I'm going to say on all this text game stuff. Let me know what you guys think.